I'd like to introduce Joan from the United States, who takes LDN for multiple sclerosis. Thank you for joining me, Joan.
Hi.
Could you tell us when you first started to experience problems?
30 years ago. I was diagnosed back in 1985.
Right. Okay.
And I had double vision.
Mm-hmm.
They thought I had a brain tumor, but it turned out to be MS. I was diagnosed via an MRI.
Mm-hmm.
And the double vision, the doctor asked me if I also had problems with my bladder, which I found was an odd connection, but thinking about it, you're talking about the nervous system, so it kind of made sense. And I didn't have any more symptoms for a good 20 years, or close to 20 years. And then the symptoms slowly crept up, and then I had a traumatic event. I lost my mother, and I was very close with my mom, so that kind of put me over the edge.
Mm-hmm.
And now I no longer walk.
Wow. So, going back a bit, before you found LDN, at that point, what would you have said your quality of life was on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best?
I want to say an 8.
Okay. And what symptoms were you experiencing before LDN?
The most symptoms I was experiencing were the bladder issues, double vision, and fatigue.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And how did you hear about LDN?
Actually, it was odd. If I'm remembering, because it was quite a while ago, back then there was no such thing as Facebook, so there were groups on Yahoo, and it was through the Yahoo group that I stumbled across it by accident. I think I did a search for LDN and came up with that. How I heard of LDN prior to that, to be able to do the search, I'm going to say it was just in passing online somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Once you started LDN, did you notice any initial side effects?
The only side effect I noticed at the time was sleeplessness, and that only lasted for a couple of weeks. That was it.
Mm-hmm. And what was your experience? Did you have symptom relief quite quickly, or did it take longer?
I never got symptom relief. I hear of people talking about that all the time, and it annoys me because I don't get symptom relief. Never did.
Okay.
Actually, that's not true. I did in the beginning. For the first 3 months, let's say, I did have more energy.
Uh-huh.
But that eventually, after about 3 or 4 months, it turned back to what I always was. I was still fatigued.
Okay. Has your MS progressed in the time that you've been taking it? How long have you been taking it, did you say?
I'm going to say at minimum 10 years, if not longer.
Okay. So in that 10 years, have you progressed further?
Actually, well, I have, but that part of that reason is because, like I said, I lost my mother, which was very traumatic for me. But at that point, prior to that, because I was helping my mother out, she was living with me. And here I had MS and I was helping her. I didn't take LDN. I stopped taking it at that point. And my doctor, my actual neurologist, I had to fight with him to get LDN. He did not want to give it to me, but I kind of lied to him and told him that I would find it online without him. And the only reason I was asking him about it was because I wanted him to monitor me on it.
Mm-hmm.
And he eventually agreed. And a year later, my MRI showed a reduction in plaque on my brain.
Wow.
He now prescribes it for anybody who asks for it.
But in that case, Joan, I know you had problems there with your mother, and stress and trauma are terrible triggers when you've got MS. But why did you stop taking the LDN?
I didn't have the time to. I was mixing it up at home. I was not going through a compounding pharmacy, number one. Number two, I think I ran out of money because I was paying out of pocket And the other reason was I just didn't have the time or the energy to do it. And I just kind of like forgot about it. It fell to the wayside, sadly.
Right, okay. And how long had you been taking it before you stopped?
I'm going to say 8 or 9 years.
Oh, right. A long time.
Yeah.
So how would you sum up taking LDN for you?
Even though I don't get the perks that everybody else talks about, I still would highly recommend it to anyone. If it proved to my neurologist that it works by decreasing the scars on my brain, then that to me is enough proof. I don't need to have the perks, although it's nice. I don't need that. So like I said, I don't get any of those pluses, but you know what? I'm still going to take it every day. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do what I have to do because it does work, or it's proven to work for me anyway.
So where are you at now with your MS?
I am in a wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
Although I do, like anybody, I have my good days and my bad days. I can still stand up as long as I'm holding on to something. I also had stem cell therapy done almost 2 years ago. So I think that also plays in a role in how my body is feeling, because I do notice changes from that.
Mm-hmm. What about fatigue?
Fatigue is every day. That's an ongoing thing. I've always had fatigue. Although I have to say I don't believe it's as bad for me as for other people. I don't know why. It's just my symptom. Not that bad. And
is your bladder just as bad as it was?
My bladder, if I could rip it out, I would. It's as bad or worse than it was.
Mm-hmm.
I have to pee every 2 to 3 hours. I get up 2 or 3 times a night. It's terrible. And unfortunately for me, the medicines that are out there, and I am very anti-pharmaceutical at this point, but that's the one medicine that I will take. However, I've tried all of the medicines out there through the years. For years, I've tried them. And it's only recently that the last medicine that I tried worked for a number of years, and it stopped working. Now there's only one medication that works, and my insurance company won't cover it.
Mm-hmm. Some people who I've spoken to self-catheterize before they go to bed to make sure their bladder is fully empty.
Mm-hmm.
And it saves them getting up so often in the night. I don't know whether that's something you've investigated.
I have been thinking about doing that, but my thought is, and I'm going to have to try it, how do I do that when I can't stand up, I can't walk? What am I going to do, sit in bed and do that? Like, I don't know how I'm going to possibly do that. My doctor, I spoke with my urologist about it. He said he has designed some mirrors that get put on the person's legs, like above the knee. Mm-hmm. So it's specifically designed for women, obviously. And these mirrors are supposed to help in being able to catheterize yourself. But again, like I said, do I sit in bed and do that? How do I do this?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know how it works. But I do know there are people in wheelchairs that do it. So there must be a way. When I was really ill and my bladder was playing up and it was suggested to me to do it, going in a wheelchair didn't freak me out. Lots of different things haven't freaked me out, but the thought of self-catheterization freaked me out big time. I don't know why, but it was something, a road I didn't want to go down, put it that way. But if it had got any worse, it would have been a road I wouldn't have had a choice. I would have had to have given it a go. But,
And what helped you? like, do you self-catheterize now or no?
No, I don't. No, the LDN. I'm one of those lucky people that the LDN just put my bladder back to where it should have been.
Yeah, see, I don't understand the whole. You know, I've read all these people on Facebook about all the positive, good things that happen from the LDN as far as symptoms disappearing, and I like I said, I've never seen that, so I can't relate, and I'm jealous.
I would say, though, that there are some doctors out there that say LDN doesn't work very effectively for people if they have Candida.
No, I don't have that.
You don't?
I did some testing on that. I changed my diet drastically 5 years ago or 6 years ago because I was convinced that diet and nutrition played a role, and I still am convinced of that.
Yes.
So I was tested for Candida, and I do not have it.
Good. What diet do you follow? Are you gluten-free, dairy-free?
Yes, gluten-free, dairy-free. I'm trying to get rid of sugar altogether, but that's almost impossible to do. I'm also processed food-free. And what's the other one? Gluten, dairy, processed foods. I think that's about it.
Red meat?
I only eat chicken, organic chicken. Yeah.
It seems as though you got your diet well under control.
It would help if I knew what my food allergies were, but I don't. And I'm allergic to just about everything.
Oh, dear.
Like I found out I'm allergic to garlic, onions, oregano, like all these Italian food spices, and I'm like, you're killing me.
Well, it doesn't leave much, does it, left that you can eat, unfortunately?
No, it doesn't. But you know what? At this point, I don't stop myself because then what am I going to eat? Dirt?
Yes.
That's what food will taste like without spices, to me anyway.
Yes. I really appreciate the time and you sharing your experience. And even though you are an advocate of LDN, I'm really sorry that you haven't had the response that other people have been experiencing. I
wonder why. You know what I mean? I wonder why. Like I said, I did have the one positive thing where I had energy, but that was when I first started it, and it only lasted for 3 months. And even now, when I take it, sometimes I think about not taking it because I get this leg tremor, and there is nothing that I can do that stops it. I tried reducing the dose. I tried increasing the dose. Nothing stops it, but you know what? I'm not going to stop taking it because of that leg tremor. Won't do it.
Well,
anyway.
Good luck and thank you very much.
You're welcome. It was nice talking to you, Linda.